Nari sat at her small desk in the corner of the research lab. Her fingers moved quickly across the old keyboard, typing numbers into the computer. Around her, tall alien beings walked back and forth, talking in loud voices about important things. They never looked at her. The research station was huge. It floated in space near a neutron star that spun very fast. The star made special energy that the aliens wanted to study. 12 different alien races worked here together. Humans were the newest members, and most aliens thought they were not very smart. "The quantum readings are perfect today," said Dr. Colvex. He was an Altarian with blue skin and 3 eyes. His voice was deep and proud. "My calculations show we will have a breakthrough soon." Nari looked at her screen. The numbers did not match what Dr. Vex said. She had been watching the readings for weeks. Something was wrong, but she was just a data entry worker. Nobody asked for her thoughts. "Excuse me, Dr. Vex," Nari said quietly. She raised her hand like a student in school. Dr. Vex turned his 3 eyes toward her. He looked annoyed. "What is it, human girl?" "I am busy with important work. The energy patterns show small changes. Look at section 7. The numbers go up and down in a strange way." Dr. Vex looked at her screen for 2 seconds. "Those are normal variations. The instruments are not perfect. Please focus on your data entry." Nari felt her face get hot, but she said nothing. She went back to typing numbers. Park Jiho walked over to her desk. He was the senior human researcher on the station. He was 40 years old and had kind eyes. Behind his glasses, "Don't worry about Dr. Vex," Park Jiho whispered. "He thinks humans are too simple to understand quantum science. But I know you see things others miss." "The patterns are getting stronger," Nari said softly. "Something is coming." Park Jiho nodded. "Keep watching, keep notes. Good science starts with good observation." Across the lab, Kim So-min was fixing a broken scanner. She was an engineer with short black hair and oil on her hands. The alien machines always needed repairs. So-min joked that alien technology was too smart for its own good. "Hey Nari," So-min called out. "Want to grab lunch? The cafeteria has actual Earth food today." Nari saved her work and followed So-min to the cafeteria. The room was big and full of aliens eating strange foods. Humans sat at 2 small tables near the back. "How was your morning?" asked So-min, as they got their food. "Dr. Vex thinks I'm stupid," Nari said. She picked up a sandwich that looked almost normal. "Dr. Vex thinks all humans are stupid. Yesterday he told me, our tools are primitive cave paintings compared to Altarian technology." They sat down with the other humans. Choi Minho was there. He worked in maintenance and fixed things. When they broke, he was young and always smiling. "Did you hear the news?" Minho asked. "Commander Vex Moore says something big is coming toward the station." Commander Vex Moore was a Zentarian. His people looked like tall gray warriors with red eyes. They were the best fighters in the galaxy. "What kind of something?" So-min asked. "They call it a dark pulse. It comes from deep space and eats energy. The commander says it's still far away, but it's moving fast." Yoon Hannah sat down with them. She was the human medical officer. She took care of sick people on the station. "The alien crew members are not worried," Hannah said. "They think their shields and weapons can stop anything." "Maybe they're right," Minho said. "Their technology is much better than ours." Nari thought about the strange patterns in her data. What if they're wrong? After lunch, Nari went back to her desk. She looked at the quantum readings again. The patterns were stronger now. The energy from the neutron star was changing in ways that made no sense. She opened her personal notebook and started drawing. She drew lines and curves that showed how the energy moved. Her grandmother had taught her to draw when she was little. It helped her think. Dr. Vex walked by and saw her drawing. "This is a science lab, not an art class," he said. "Focus on your real work." But Park Jiho stopped and looked at her drawings. His eyes got wide. "Nari, these patterns. They look like something is pulling the energy. Like a big mouth sucking in air." That's what I think too, Nari said. But the instruments say everything is normal. The instruments measure what they're designed to measure. But maybe this dark pulse is something new. Something they've never seen before. That evening, Nari stayed late in the lab. Most aliens had gone to their quarters. The station was quiet except for the soft humming of machines. She pulled up old records on her computer. She looked at data from other places where dark pulses had been reported. The reports were scary. Whole planets went dark. Space stations disappeared. Ships stopped sending messages, but nobody knew what caused it. The scientists said it was just a natural event. Like a storm in space, Naris drawings told a different story. The patterns looked like something alive, something hunting, working. Late again, Nari turned around. Commander Vexmore stood behind her. His red eyes looked at her computer screen. I'm studying the dark pulse reports, Nari said. You should not worry. Our shields can stop any energy wave. Our weapons can destroy any threat. The dark pulse is just cosmic weather. What if it's not? Nari asked. Commander Vexmore's eyes got brighter. You think it's alive? Maybe. The patterns suggest intelligence. Like it's choosing targets. Impossible. Our sensors show no life signs, no ships, no technology, just empty space. What if it's something our sensors can't detect? Commander Vexmore laughed. It was not a kind sound. Human girl, our sensors can detect a single atom across a solar system. There is nothing we cannot see. He walked away, still laughing. Nari looked at her drawings again. She thought about her grandfather's old fishing boat. It had no computers, no fancy equipment, just simple tools that worked when everything else failed. Maybe simple was better sometimes. She heard footsteps. Park Ji-ho came back into the lab. I've been thinking about what you said, he told her. About the patterns. I want to run some tests tomorrow. Quiet tests, just you and me. Dr. Vex won't like it. Dr. Vex doesn't need to know. Good science sometimes happens in secret. The next morning, the station's alarms started ringing. Red lights flashed in all the hallways. Attention all personnel. Commander Vexmore's voice came over the speakers. The dark pulse has changed course. It will arrive in 6 hours, not 6 days. All non-essential personnel report to evacuation pods. Nari ran to the observation deck. Through the big windows, she could see space. It looked normal. Stars twinkled like always, but her instruments told a different story. The quantum readings were going crazy. The patterns in her drawings were happening in real time. It's here, she whispered. Park Ji-ho stood next to her. The evacuation pods are launching. Most aliens are leaving. Are we leaving too? Park Ji shook his head. Someone needs to monitor the station. Record what happens. For science. Dr. Vex ran past them toward the evacuation pods. His 3 eyes were wide with fear. He did not look at Nari. Through the windows, space began to change. The stars started to flicker. Then they began to go out, one by one. The dark pulse had arrived. The first thing to die was the main computer. Nori watched her screen flicker and go black. All around the research lab, alien machines made strange beeping sounds. Then they stopped making any sounds at all. What's happening? Park Ji-ho asked. He pressed buttons on his console, but nothing happened. The lights went out. Emergency red lights came on, then those went out too. The lab became dark except for the starlight coming through the windows. But even the stars were disappearing. One by one. The backup power should start now, Park Ji-ho said. They waited. Nothing happened. Nari pulled out her small flashlight. It was old and simple, the kind that used regular batteries. The beam cut through the darkness. Your flashlight works, Park Ji-ho said. He sounded surprised. It's just a simple light. No computers inside. They heard shouting from the hallway. Nari and Park Ji-ho ran toward the sounds. Other people were running too, bumping into walls in the dark. Commander Vexmore stood in the main corridor. His red eyes could see in the dark better than human eyes, but he looked scared. The evacuation pods are dead, he said. They will not start. The engines will not work. What about the emergency systems? Someone asked. All dead. The quantum cores, the fusion reactors, even the simple battery packs, everything that makes power is broken. Dr. Kolvex pushed through the crowd. His blue skin looked gray in the darkness. This is impossible, he said. Our technology is protected by 17 different backup systems. Nothing can kill all of them at once. Well, something did, Commander Vexmore said. Nayar shined her flashlight around the corridor. She saw about 30 people. Most were aliens, but she spotted Kim So-min, Choi Min-ho, and Yoon Hana among the humans. How many people stayed on the station? Nari asked. 43, Commander Vexmore said. The others left in the early evacuation pods, and now we're trapped. The situation is temporary, Dr. Kolvex said. Our engineers will fix the power soon. But the alien engineers looked lost. They kept touching their dead tools and shaking their heads. Kim So-min walked over to Nari. She had a small oil lamp in her hands. The flame danced in the darkness. I found this in my toolkit, Solman said. It's an old backup light for when the power goes out. That's smart, Nari said. The aliens think I'm crazy for keeping old tools, but sometimes old is better. They heard a loud bang from somewhere in the station. Then another bang. Then silence. The airlocks are failing, Commander Vexmore said. The magnetic seals need power to stay closed. Yoon Hana stepped forward. She was carrying a medical bag and a hand crank flashlight. How long do we have? She asked. With 43 people and no air recycling, maybe 18 hours. Everyone started talking at once. The aliens' voices got higher and louder. Some of them sat down on the floor and put their heads in their hands. Park Ji-ho grabbed Nara's arm. We need to find the old emergency systems. The ones built before quantum technology. Do we have any? Every space station has basic backup systems. Simple ones that don't need computers. They walked through the dark corridors, using Nara's flashlight to see. The station felt dead. No humming machines, no blinking lights, no warm air moving through the vents. Here, Park Ji-ho said. He stopped at a heavy metal door. Emergency. Supplies. The door had an old-style wheel lock. Park Ji-ho turned it by hand. Inside the room, they found shelves full of simple tools. Hand pumps, chemical air scrubbers, manual water filters. This stuff is ancient, Nari said. Ancient and working. Park Ji-ho picked up a hand crank generator. No computers, no quantum parts. Just metal and magnets. They heard footsteps. Kim So-min and Choi Min-ho appeared in the doorway. We were looking for you, So-min said. The aliens are having some kind of breakdown. They keep saying their implants are dead. Implants? Nari asked. Most advanced aliens have computer chips in their brains, Min-ho explained. The chips help them think faster and remember more. Without the chips, they can't function normally. Like humans with broken glasses, So-min added. But worse. Park Ji-ho started pulling equipment off the shelves. We need to set up basic life support. Manual air pumps, chemical scrubbers, simple heating. Can we do that? Min-ho asked. We have to try. The aliens can't help us. They don't know how to work without computers. They carried the equipment back to the main corridor. The aliens were sitting quietly in the dark. Some were crying. Others just stared at nothing. Dr. Kolvex saw them coming with the old tools. What is that primitive junk? He asked. Life support, Park Ji-ho said. Manual systems that don't need power. Impossible. You cannot maintain a space station with hand tools. Watch us, Solman said. Yoon Hana joined them. She had found more humans in other parts of the station. There were 8 humans total. The alien crew members are getting sick, Hana reported. Without their implants, their brains can't handle stress. Some are going into shock. We'll take care of them, Park Ji-ho said. But first, we need air. They set up the manual air scrubbers. In the main corridor, Min-ho and So-min took turns cranking the handles. The machines made soft whooshing sounds as they cleaned the air. Nari worked on the heating system. It used simple chemical heat packs, the kind campers used. She broke the packs and spread them around the room. Warm air started to rise. "It's working," she said. Park Ji-ho was reading from an old manual. "We need to seal off most of the station. Focus our air and heat in just a few rooms." They spent hours moving people and equipment. The humans worked together like a team. The aliens mostly sat and watched. Without their computers, they seemed like children who had lost their parents. Commander Vexmore tried to help, but his hands shook. "I cannot remember how to do simple tasks," he said. "My implant always told me what to do." "It's okay," Nari said. "Just rest, we'll handle this." As they worked, Nari noticed something strange. Her simple tools worked fine, but anything with electronics was completely dead. Even basic battery-powered devices wouldn't start. "Whatever hit us really hates electricity," she told Park Ji-ho. "Not electricity," he said. "Energy itself. Look." He pointed to a chemical heat pack that had stopped working. The heat was fading. Much faster than it should. The energy is being drained away, pulled out into space. Nari thought about her drawings. The patterns that looked like a big mouth. "It's feeding," she said. "What?" "The dark pulse. It's not just breaking our machines. It's eating the energy. Like a hungry animal." Park Ji-ho stopped working. "If that's true, then we're not just stranded, we're being hunted." They heard a new sound from outside the station, a soft humming that seemed to come from everywhere at once. Through the windows, they could see something moving in space. It wasn't a ship or a machine. It was like a shadow that bent the starlight around it. "It's still here," Nari whispered. The shadow moved closer to the station. As it came near, their heat packs grew colder. The hand crank lights became dimmer. "It knows we're alive," Park Ji-ho said. Dr. Colvex heard them talking. "What are you saying?" he demanded. "The dark pulse is intelligent," Nari said. "It's feeding on energy, and it's hunting anything that's still alive." "Ridiculous. Our sensors showed no life signs." "Your sensors are dead," Soman pointed out. Dr. Colvex opened his mouth to argue, then closed it again. For the first time, he had no answer. The humming sound got louder. Through the walls of the station, they could feel something big moving around them, circling like a shark around a sinking boat. "How long until rescue ships arrive?" Minho asked. Commander Vex Moore shook his head. "The rescue ships use the same technology as our station. If this thing killed our power, it will kill theirs too. So? No one is coming to help us," Hannah said. "No one." The shadow passed by the windows again. This time, it was closer. The remaining heat in their chemical packs faded to almost nothing. Nari looked around at the group. 8 humans trying to keep 35 aliens alive with hand tools and old equipment. Against something that could eat energy and hunt in the darkness of space. "We're on our own," she said. Park Ji-ho nodded. "Then we better get to work." Nari woke up to the sound of someone crying. It had been 6 hours since the lights went out. She was lying on the floor of the main corridor with the other survivors. The aliens were taking turns making sad noises in the dark. "The air is getting bad, Yoon," Hannah whispered. She was checking on people with her hand crank flashlight. Nar, I sat up. Her back hurt from sleeping on the hard floor. "How bad? We need more air scrubbers working. The chemical ones are running out." Park Ji-ho was already awake. He was sitting by the emergency supplies, reading an old manual by candlelight. "I found something," he said when Nari walked over. "There's an old mechanical air system in the lower levels. It was built 50 years ago, before quantum technology. Does it still work? Maybe. It uses simple pumps and fans, no computers needed." Soman stretched and yawned. "What kind of pumps?" "The kind you work by hand. Like an old well pump that will take a lot of people working in shifts," Choi Minho said. "Better than dying," Soman replied. They woke up the other humans and explained the plan. The aliens were still sitting quietly, staring at nothing. Without their implants, most of them couldn't follow simple conversations. "We need to go to level 7. Park Ji-ho said. The old maintenance section. I know that area, Minho said. I fix pipes down there sometimes. They gathered their simple tools and started walking. The corridors were dark and cold. Their breath made small clouds in the air. As they walked, Nari noticed something strange. My flashlight is brighter now. Mine too, Soman said. Park Ji-ho stopped and looked around. The shadow creature moved away from this part of the station. It's hunting somewhere else. Good. Maybe we can get some work done. Level 7 was different from the upper levels. The walls were plain metal instead of fancy alien materials. The doors had simple wheel locks instead of computer controls. This section was built by humans, Minho explained. Back when we first joined the station project, they found the mechanical air system in a big room full of pipes and pumps. Everything was covered in dust, but it looked solid. It's like my grandfather's farm equipment, Soman said. She wiped dust off a large pump handle. Built to last forever. Park Ji-ho found the instruction book. It was written in simple Earth languages, not the complex alien text that covered most station manuals. This should work, he said. We pump air through these filters, then push it up to the main levels. What about the filters? Nari asked. We can make new ones. There's activated charcoal in the emergency supplies, and cloth from our clothes if we need to. They spent the next 2 hours setting up the system. The aliens would have used computers to calculate airflow and pressure. The humans just tried things until they worked. Test time, Soman said. She grabbed the main pump handle. Everyone held their breath. Soman pulled the handle down, then up, down, then up. The pump made a soft whooshing sound. I can feel air moving, Minho said. He put his hand near a vent. It works, Hannah said. They set up a schedule. 2 people would pump air while the others rested. It was hard work, but it kept everyone alive as they worked. Park Ji-ho told Nari about his research notes. I've been studying the quantum readings for months, he said. The patterns you noticed were right. Something has been watching us. For how long? Maybe years. Learning about our technology, figuring out how to kill it. Nari thought about this while she pumped air. But it can't kill simple technology. Right? It feeds on quantum energy, fusion power, anything complex. But basic electricity, chemical energy, mechanical force, those are too simple for it to eat. Like we're too primitive to notice. Exactly. After they got the air system working, they went back to check on the other survivors. The aliens were in worse shape. Some were lying on the floor, not moving. Dr. Colvex looked up when he saw them. His 3 eyes were dim and unfocused. Are you going to save us? He asked. His voice sounded like a child's. We're trying, Nari said. I was wrong. About humans, Dr. Vex said. You are not primitive. You are ... adapted. Adapted to what? To survival without computers. My people forgot how to live without machines. But you never forgot. Commander Vexmore was sitting against a wall. His red eyes were barely glowing. My tactical implant is dead, he said. I cannot remember how to fight without computer assistance. I feel ... empty. You don't need to fight right now, Yunhana told him. Just rest. But Nari was thinking about fighting. The shadow creature was still out there, circling the station, getting stronger as it fed on the dead machines. Park Ji-ho, she said. What did your research say about communicating with other stations? All the quantum communication systems are dead. But there might be something. He pulled out his notebook and flipped through pages. Here, there's an old emergency beacon in the communications room. It's just a simple radio transmitter, very basic. Does it still work? It should. It uses simple electromagnetic waves, not quantum signals. Kim Soman looked interested. I know radios. My father was a radio operator in the Earth Defense Force. They left the other humans to watch the aliens and went to find the communications room. It was on level 3, in the oldest part of the station. The room was full of dead alien equipment. But in one corner, covered by dust sheets, they found the old Earth radio. It's beautiful, Soman said. She wiped the dust off the control panel. Look, real switches and dials. The radio was big and heavy, made of metal and glass. No computer chips or quantum processors. Can you make it work? Nari asked. Give me an hour. While Soman worked on the radio, Nari and Park Ji-ho explored the rest of the communications room. They found shelves full of old equipment that the aliens had forgotten about. Look at this, Park Ji-ho said. He held up a simple telescope. Manual focusing, no computer assistance. Nari took the telescope and looked out the window. Through the lens, she could see the shadow creature clearly for the first time. It was huge, bigger than the station. It looked like a dark cloud, but she could see it had structure. Patterns that moved and changed. It's beautiful, she said, and terrible. What do you see? It's not just eating energy, it's growing. Learning. Each machine it kills makes it smarter. Park Ji-ho looked through the telescope, too. Then we need to warn other stations before it gets to them. Got it, Somin called out. The radio made crackling sounds, then cleared up. This is Nexus Station calling any ship or station. Emergency situation. Please respond. They waited. Static filled the room. Then, a voice came through the speaker. Nexus Station. This is the transport ship, Rising Star. We received your distress signal. Are you all right? Nari grabbed the microphone. Rising Star, do not approach Nexus Station. We are under attack by an unknown entity. It kills all advanced technology. Nexus Station, please clarify. What kind of entity? Something that feeds on energy, quantum systems, fusion reactors, anything complex. It's intelligent, and it hunts. Long pause. Then, Nexus Station, our sensors show no hostile contacts in your area. Your sensors won't work near this thing. Trust me. Stay away and warn other ships. We're coming to help you. Estimated arrival. In 4 hours, no don't. The radio went quiet. Park Ji-ho looked worried. If that thing kills a rescue ship, it will get even stronger. And smarter, Nari added. Through the window, they could see the shadow creature moving. It seemed excited, like it had heard the radio transmission. It knows help is coming, Park Ji-ho said. Nari made a decision. Then, we need to be ready. We need to figure out how to fight this thing. With what? Hand tools and candles. Nari looked around the room full of simple, old equipment. Maybe that's exactly what we need. She thought about her drawings, her observations, everything she had learned. The creature was powerful against advanced technology, but it seemed to ignore simple things. What if we could hurt it, she said. What if there was a way to use its own feeding against it? How? I don't know yet. But we have something it doesn't. Expect what's that? Human ingenuity. And for hours to figure out how to save a rescue ship. Outside the window, the shadow creature pulsed with dark energy, waiting for more victims to arrive. But inside the old communications room, 3 humans started planning the impossible. 3 hours until the rescue ship arrived. Nari stood in the old engine room, looking at the biggest piece of simple technology on the station. The emergency reactor was as big as a house and built like a tank. This thing is older than my grandmother, Kim So-man said. She was reading the instruction manual with her oil lamp, built in the early days of space travel. The reactor was completely mechanical. No computer controls, no quantum systems, just heavy metal, simple switches, and basic nuclear fuel. Can we overload it? Nari asked. Park Ji-ho looked worried. You want to blow up the reactor? Not blow up, overload. Make it produce so much energy that the shadow creature has to come and feed on it. That's suicide, Choi Min-ho said. Maybe. But what happens when that rescue ship gets here? The creature will eat their engines and kill everyone on board. Then it will be even stronger. They had spent 2 hours trying other ideas. Simple weapons. That might hurt the creature. Ways to hide from it. Nothing would work. The thing was too big, too powerful. If we overload the reactor, the whole station might be destroyed, Park Ji-ho said. The station is already dead, Nari replied. But if we time it right, we might be able to hurt the creature. Maybe even kill it. Soman found a page in the manual. Look at this. There's an emergency release valve. If we remove it, the reactor will keep building pressure until it explodes. Minho finished. Not explodes. Releases all its energy. At once. Like a giant battery suddenly emptying. Nari nodded. And when that happens, the creature will have to feed on it. All of its attention will be focused here. While we hide where? Park Ji-ho asked. Nari had been thinking about this. The old storage room in level 7. It's built like a metal box. No electronics inside. If we seal it up tight, a Faraday cage, Somin said, it blocks electromagnetic energy. Will it work against this creature? I don't know, but it's our best chance. They heard footsteps in the corridor. Yoon Hannah appeared with 2 of the other humans. The aliens are getting worse, Hannah reported. Some of them have stopped breathing normally. I think their implants controlled more than just thinking. How long do they have? Maybe 6 hours, maybe less. Nari made her decision. We do this now. Everyone gets to the Faraday cage except me. What do you mean, except you? Park Ji-ho asked. Someone needs to remove the valve and start the overload. Someone needs to stay here and make sure it works. I'll stay, Soman said. No, this is my plan, my responsibility. You're not staying alone, Park Ji-ho said firmly. I'm the senior researcher. It's my job to protect my team, and I know this reactor better than anyone, Somian added. You need me here. Nari felt scared and proud at the same time. A few days ago, she was just a data entry worker. Now, she was leading humans in a fight against something from the dark between stars. Fine, 3 of us stay. Everyone else gets to safety. They spent 30 minutes preparing. Minho and the other humans moved the aliens to level 7. Hannah gave everyone simple medical supplies. They found old wire and metal sheets to improve the Faraday cage. The rescue ship is 2 hours away, Hannah said, checking her wind-up watch. That should be enough time, Nari said. Park Ji-ho was studying the reactor controls. Once we start the overload, we have maybe 10 minutes before the energy release. Can we get to level 7 in 10 minutes? If we run, and if nothing goes wrong, Somin was working under the reactor, loosening bolts on the pressure valve. This thing hasn't been serviced in 20 years. The bolts are stuck. Use this, Minho said. He handed her a long metal bar, a crowbar. Perfect, Soman smiled. Sometimes, the old ways are best. Through the engine room windows, they could see the shadow creature. It was moving closer to the station again. Like it could sense they were planning something. It knows, Nari said. Good, Park Ji-ho replied. Let it come, we'll give it more energy than it can handle. The valve came loose with a loud clang. Steam hissed out of the opening. Pressure is building, Simon said. Once I remove this completely, the reactor will start overloading automatically. Everyone ready? Nari asked. The others nodded, double quotes, do it. Soman pulled the valve free. Immediately, warning lights started flashing, not electric lights, simple chemical lights, that activated when pressure got too high. Overload started, Park Ji-ho said, reading the mechanical gauges. 10 minutes and counting. They ran. The corridors seemed longer than before. Their footsteps echoed in the darkness. Behind them, they could hear the reactor making angry sounds as pressure built up. 5 minutes, Park Ji-ho said, checking his watch. They reached level 7 and dove into the storage room. The other humans had sealed it up with metal sheets and wire mesh. It looked like a cave made of copper and steel. Everyone inside, Hannah, said. They squeezed through the door and sealed it behind them. The room was crowded with 43 people, but it felt safe. For minutes, Park Ji-ho whispered. Through the sealed walls, they could hear something moving outside, a sound like wind, but deeper. The shadow creature was coming. 3 minutes. The temperature in the room started to drop. Their breath made clouds in the cold air. It's right outside, someone whispered. 2 minutes. The metal walls began to vibrate. Whatever was outside was huge and getting closer. 1 minute. Nari closed her eyes and thought about her grandmother's drawings, about simple solutions to complex problems, about humans who survived by being stubborn and clever. 30 seconds. The vibrating stopped. Everything became quiet. 10 seconds. Park Ji-ho counted 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The station shook. Like an earthquake, light blazed through the tiny gaps in their metal walls. They could hear a sound, like thunder, that went on and on. Then came a different sound. A shriek that hurt their ears. Not human, not alien. Something else entirely. The light faded. The shaking stopped, but the shrieking continued. Did it work? Minho asked. I don't know, Nari said. Let's wait. They waited for what felt like hours but was probably only minutes. Finally, the shrieking stopped too. I'm going to look, Nari said. No, Park Ji-ho said. Too dangerous. Someone has to check. The rescue ship will be here soon. She opened the door just a crack and peered out. The corridors were dark and quiet. But something was different. The air felt normal again, not cold. And empty. I think it's gone, she said. They opened the door wider and stepped out carefully. Nari turned on her flashlight and looked around. The station looked the same, but it felt different. Like a weight had been lifted. Look, Soman said. She was pointing at a simple battery-powered clock on the wall. It was working again. The electronics are coming back online, Park Ji-ho said. They walked carefully back toward the upper levels. As they went, they saw more signs that things were returning to normal. Emergency lights flickered on. Computers beeped as they restarted. But when they reached the observation deck, they saw something that made them all stop. Through the windows, space looked wrong. There was a huge tear in the darkness, like someone had ripped a hole in a black cloth. Through the tear, they could see strange lights and colors that hurt to look at. What is that? Hannah asked. The creature's real home, Nari said. I think we hurt it so badly that it had to retreat back where it came from. Is it dead? I don't know. But it's gone for now. An hour later, the rescue ship Rising Star arrived. Their engines worked perfectly. Their computers were online. Their captain was very confused about the distress call. We don't see any signs of battle damage, the captain said over the radio. What exactly attacked you? Nari took the microphone. Something that feeds on advanced technology. We fought it with simple tools, and one that sounds ... unlikely. Check your records in a few days. I think you'll find that other stations have gone dark recently, all of them high-tech, all of them defenseless. Dr. Colvex had recovered enough to speak. The human is correct. We were helpless. They saved us with primitive methods. Commander Vex Moore nodded. I will write a full report. Human ingenuity saved 43 lives today. As the rescue ship docked, Nari looked out at the tear in space. It was already getting smaller, healing itself. Will it come back? Park Ji-ho asked. Probably. But next time, people will be ready. Next time, they'll know that sometimes simple is better than complex. And next time, they'll listen to the quiet girl in the corner who notices things others. Miss Nari smiled. Maybe. But I hope there won't be a next time. The tear in space closed with a flash of light. The stars looked normal again. But Nari kept watching the darkness, just in case. 3 months after the Dark Pulse attack, Nari sat in her new office on the Earth Defense Station. The office had a big window that looked out at the stars, but she kept her old simple desk and her hand-drawn charts on the walls. The door chimed. Kim Soman walked in, wearing the uniform of a chief engineer. Still drawing by hand? Soman asked, smiling. Old habits, Nari said. Besides, sometimes you see things better when you draw them yourself. Soman sat down in the chair across from Nara's desk. The council wants another report about the Nexus Station incident. What do they want to know this time? How we really did it? They still don't believe that simple tools beat an advanced alien entity. Nari laughed. Show them the recordings, show them the data. They've seen everything, but some of them think we had secret weapons, advanced human technology that we're hiding. The secret weapon was thinking different, Nari said. Nothing more. After the rescue, everything had changed very quickly. The story of Nexus stations spread through the galaxy. Other space stations reported similar attacks, but now they were ready. They kept simple backup systems. They trained people to work without computers. Nori had become famous. The quiet girl who saved 43 lives with hand tools and basic science. Universities wanted her to teach. Governments wanted her to design new defense systems. But she chose something different. Have you decided about the new assignment? Somin asked. Nari picked up a folder from her desk. Deep Space Exploration Ship. Looking for dark pulse activity in the outer systems. That sounds dangerous, probably, but someone needs to watch. For them, someone who understands how they think. You mean how they hunt? Yes. The truth was, Nari knew the dark pulse creatures were still out there. The Terran space had closed, but not before she saw something that worried her. Lights moving in that strange dimension. Other creatures, maybe bigger ones. Park Ji-ho sends his regards, Somin said. He's doing well at the new research center. Park Ji-ho had also become famous after Nexus Station, but he chose to teach, helping young scientists learn to observe carefully and think simply. What about the others? Minho got promoted to head of maintenance for the Mars orbital stations. Hannah is running the medical college on Luna. Everyone is doing good work? And the aliens from Nexus Station? Summon's smile faded a little. Still recovering, Dr. Kolvex can work again, but he's different. More humble. He asks humans for advice. Now, that's probably good for him. Commander Vex, more retired from military service. He said he lost confidence in advanced technology. Now he teaches basic survival skills. Nari nodded. The attack had changed everyone who lived through it. The aliens learned that being advanced didn't mean being prepared. The humans learned that being simple didn't mean being weak. There's something else, Solomon said. We got a message from the frontier colonies. 3 ships have gone missing in the Vega system. Ships with advanced technology. Yes, quantum drives AI computers, the works. Nari felt a familiar chill. She walked to her window and looked out at the stars. Somewhere out there, in the dark between worlds, something was hunting again. When do I leave? She asked. The ship is ready now, but Nari, you don't have to do this. You could have any job in the galaxy. You could be rich and safe. Safe is not the same as right, Nari said. Someone needs to go look. Someone who knows what to watch for. Then I'm going with you. Nari turned around. What? You think I'm letting you face those things alone? We're a team, we work better together. It's dangerous. Everything worth doing is dangerous. They heard a knock on the door. Choi Minho and Yoon Hannah walked in. They were both smiling. Surprise, Minho said. We heard you were going dark pulse hunting, and you thought we'd let you go without the full team. Hannah added. Nar. I looked at her friends. They had all changed since Nexus Station. They were more confident, more sure of themselves, but they were still the same people who had cranked air pumps and fixed problems with simple tools. You all have good jobs now, Nari said. Important work. This is more important, Hannah said. Someone needs to protect the colonies. Someone needs to watch for the next attack. And honestly, Minho added, working on Mars is boring. I miss the excitement. Excitement. We almost died. But we didn't die, Somin said. We won, and we can win again. Nari felt something warm in her chest. Pride, maybe, or hope. What about Park Ji-ho? She asked. Already on the ship, Minho said. He says the students can learn from books for a while. This is too important to miss. 2 hours later, they were aboard the exploration ship, Prometheus. It was a good ship, but not too advanced. The engines were reliable fusion drives, not quantum systems. The computers were simple and had manual backups for everything. Nari stood on the bridge, looking at the star charts. The Vega system was 2 weeks away at normal speed. All systems ready, the captain said. She was an older woman named Chen Wei. who had fought in the border wars. We've got basic supplies for 6 months. No fancy equipment, just reliable tools. That's exactly what we need, Nari said. As the ship left Earth orbit, Nari thought about the past 3 months. She had given dozens of interviews, written reports, met with important people. Everyone wanted to know how she did it. How a quiet research assistant became the person who saved Nexus Station. The answer was simple, but people didn't like simple answers. She noticed things. She drew pictures. She asked questions. When everyone else panicked, she stayed calm and thought about the problem. Quantum drive ships would get to Vega in 3 days, Park Ji-ho said. He was looking at the navigation display. But quantum drives are exactly what the dark pulse creatures hunt, Nari replied. They can sense quantum energy from very far away, so we go slow and quiet. Like fishermen, Minho said. My grandfather always said the best way to catch fish is to be patient. Are we the fishermen or the fish? Hannah asked. That depends on how smart we are, Nari said. She pulled out her notebook and started drawing. New patterns, new ideas. The creatures they fought at Nexus Station were just scouts, she was sure of it. Somewhere in the dark between galaxies, bigger things were waiting. But humans were good at waiting too. Good at watching. Good at surviving with simple tools and clever ideas. Detection array is online, the captain announced. Basic electromagnetic sensors only. If there's something out there, we'll see it the old-fashioned way. Good, Nari said. The old-fashioned way works. She looked out at the stars and thought about her grandmother, who had taught her to draw. Her grandmother who had lived through wars and famines and disasters, always finding a way to survive. What are you thinking about? Soman asked. My grandmother used to say that the universe is full of problems, but humans are full of solutions. Sometimes the best solution is the simplest one. And sometimes the best person to solve a problem is the one everyone ignores. Nari smiled. Nobody ignores us anymore. No, Park Ji-ho said, joining the conversation. Now they listen. Now they understand that being simple and being smart are not the same thing. The ship flew on through the darkness, carrying 5 humans and their simple tools, toward whatever was waiting in the Vega system. Behind them, Earth grew smaller and dimmer until it was just another star. But ahead of them, the real stars waited, and somewhere among those stars, ancient things moved in the dark. Things that had been hunting advanced civilizations for millions of years. Things that had never met humans before. Nari opened her notebook to a fresh page and started drawing new patterns, new ideas, new ways to turn human weaknesses into human strengths. In the quiet of space, nobody paid attention to one small ship with basic technology and a crew of 5 humans, which was exactly how they liked it. The hunt was just beginning.